My name is Luis Milan. I work for Citibank as Senior Vice President of Global Fraud Execution. I have been with Citi for almost 21 years, and I have had the opportunity to work in many countries. So I'm very happy with that. But Megan, do you want to introduce yourself before I?
Yeah, absolutely. So good morning, or good evening maybe. My name is Megan Weiss, and I am an ethics director for Raytheon Technologies, which is an aerospace and defense company. I work out of our Los Angeles office, although obviously I'm working from home right now. And I'm just really happy to be here and listen to your presentation today. So thank you.
Perfect. So let's read the instructions, okay? You have been called back by the company to give your full presentation for a second visit. They have asked to speak only about the ethical aspect of the problem and to explain your solution successfully handles any ethical issues. You have 10 minutes and there are no Q&A, and you may not use slides and video. So you probably don't want to have more than 2 or 3 members of your team doing this. Okay, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Okay, good morning. We are glad to be here once again with Rappi's Board of Directors. We are Tintolkers Consulting, and today we're going more in depth through the ethical dimension. My partners are Daniel Riaño, Camila Marulanda, and me, Daniela Cabrera. Rappi is part of the gig economy, a labor market characterized by the prevalence of short-term contracts or freelance work, where instead of a regular wage, workers get paid for the gigs they do, such as food delivery or car journeys. It is important to make clear that these platforms were thought as a way for workers to earn extra income. But in an economy like Colombia's, for a great number of people, it might be their only job and their only source of income. This means that some rapitenderos are working full-time. Some careers are head of households, and others come from Venezuela. Then we question, do these people have the same necessities? Is Rappi taking into account those necessities? It is not a secret that many careers are not quite satisfied with the labor conditions. They are concerned about social security and payment. Since there's not an employment contract between Rappi and Rapitenderos, it's not Rappi's responsibility to pay for it. But there are different ways to contribute to decent work. The ethical aspects should be core to every business. And surely, ethics contribute to this strategy. Let's think about clients. They are every time more aware about their consumption, and they care about corporate social responsibility. Now, if we think about workers, they value the fact that the companies care about them, even when some things may not be mandatory. What about investors? Companies care about, investors are looking for sustainable business to put their money in. Therefore, a strategy that includes decent work, which is combined with more ethical practices, will lead to a sustainable company that aligns with the stakeholders' interests. Now, Camila is going to talk about the ethical considerations that we analyzed.
Thank you, Daniela. So when we were deciding through which ethical lens we wanted to analyze this case, we first considered to do it through one that kind of considers the greatest amount of good over harm for all the parties involved. But at the end of the day, we ended up going through another one which we consider is more suitable. We chose the human rights approach, which says that every human being has a dignity based on its human nature. In this nature, they have the right to be treated as ends and not means to an end. We understand that for you, Rappi's Board of Directors, this concept may be distant, But if you decided to take it into account, you're having in mind your career's best interest, as you'll always remember that a rapitendero is not simply the bridge between a customer and a store. Our ethical perspective is reflected in Articles 23.3 and 24 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. When building our solution, we took into account important points from the International Labour Organization's definition of decent work, which are first, prospects for personal growth and social protection for the families. We analyzed two different considerations. The first one is that Rappi's business model, as innovative and successful as it has been, was definitely not thought for third world countries such as Colombia. As a result, thousands of rapitenderos end up working up to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, as is their solely source of income and they have needs they must cover. This has arisen an inconformity between them towards the company, and this inconformity is what has fueled the different strikes. The strikes not only have a negative impact on your finances, but they also have a negative impact on your reputation. We know that you could just pay an extra amount of money to them, and in a way the problem would be solved. But we want to invite you to go farther. That's why our solution aims to give them conditions where they can work less hours, be more motivated, and in a way find those opportunities for personal growth. Our second consideration is that Rapid does not make public information such as its mission, vision, or values. This is a problem because when your clients, potential investors, and potential partners look for you, they really don't know towards what you're working or what guides your decisions. For example, when they look for you on the internet, they will find all those negative information about the strikes, but they would not know what do you have to say about this. And as we all know, looking through the internet is the first thing everyone does. That's why we want to encourage you to pay attention to all these little details. We consider that through the past years, you have been mainly focusing on getting the results you want, and as a consequence has overlooked the different important aspects of the business. In this specific case, we recommend you to post this information, tell them about all the positive things you are doing or will do in order to become a more sustainable company. At the end of the day, this transparency would make a huge impact on your reputation as you will be seen as a more reliable company. Now, Daniel is going to talk to you about how these issues are an opportunity for you and our recommendations.
Thank you very much, Cami. We know that in your business model, there are great challenges. Being the pioneers of the gig economy in Latin America countries was complicated because the inequality and the lack of regulation make you grow very fast and quickly. Many people find in you an unique job opportunity, but without the best conditions. Consumers are starting to notice that your workforce needs more conditions to provide their service in a dignified way. That's why we believe and we consider that adapting and applying our proposed solution, you will have many benefits in the medium, but specifically in the long term. We found the following benefits in a study carried out by the public realization company called Edelman Choice Good Purpose Corporate that reflects that the attitude of consumers depending on their social awareness in relation to brands. The survey of the study was carried out with 5,600 consumers from 9 countries on all the continents, and the results showed that 85% of consumers are determined to challenge brands if they affect great social welfare. Consumers who participate in the research were concerned about the social action. In 8 of the 9 countries surveyed, more than a half of people involved in social causes where the areas of the greatest concern were the protection of the environment with 92%, decent and healthy life with 90%, poverty reduction with 89%, equal education opportunities with 89%, and among others. In the same context, people prefer brands that make difference in social behavior. When they are selecting a company, 52% are focused on the quality of the service or the product, and 29% on their price. But when they find a company that have those conditions, responsible social behavior is what they most matter to the consumers. 41% of them declared in that way about the design and innovative of the companies. 70% will be willing to pay more for companies that support social causes. Within the studies, we found that countries For example, the Brazilians with 63% are the most involved in these causes. This is an opportunity that we found and that your company should take advantage of. This probably sounds rude, but we consider that your business model is not ethical and is indefensible. And it doesn't matter if it's acceptable. People are starting to notice this, and this is affecting you. Taking this into account, we consider that will be beneficial for you to be the first Latin American company that adopts the gamification program, not only because the benefits you are going to create for your couriers or rapitenderos, but also because doing this, people are going to perceive you as a company that not only care about being the biggest one. Moreover, your income are going to grow up, your perception will improve, and your commitment of your couriers or rapitenderos will also increase. Thank you very much for your attention.